In this tutorial, we are going to create a very simple catalog database from scratch. This tutorial is going to be separated into two parts. First, how you can create a very basic layout that looks nice and clean and organized. We are going to be going over some detailed smaller parts of FileMaker. For example, how to use a container field to hold image, or how you can turn your number value into a $sign with comma. On the second part of this tutorial, we are going to learn how to use script and script trigger to help you automatically carry out a set of tasks when you save what you're typing. Coming up. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another FileMaker beginner tutorial. This channel, it's all about creating beginner-friendly FileMaker tutorials so that you can start applying this software to your business and automate your workflow. We post regularly each Friday, so if you want to see more of these content, remember to hit the subscribe button. Now let's have a quick look at today's exercise file. You can download this file at the link in the description down below. Like I said in the intro of this video, we are going to create a very simple catalog database to store information for furniture product. So let's start with the first thing, the database. So we want to go to File and then click onto Database. And we have already got a product database right in front of us. Double click onto this, and the first field I want to create is the product name. Very simple, just the product's name. And the second field I want to create is a description. So maybe a small, a short paragraph of text that you can place beside the product name so that you can know what the product is and what is it about. And thirdly, we want to have a price. So for the price, for the previous two field, we are using the type text. But for the price, since this is a number data, so we're going to use a number here, press change, and now we have a number for price. And then we are going to create some measurement fields. We are going to create one called a cm, and then one called inches or inch. And I will explain to you shortly why I included this, because that's a bit more relevant to the second part of the tutorial where we go to do the script triggers. And lastly, we are going to do the photo. And this is how we place photo into the database. So for photos and all the image file, PDF file, we are going to use the type container. Container in FileMaker, it's basically the field type that you use to store image, store sound file or PDF files, basically any sort of file you can put in there. And then we are going to click OK. And we are now in this layout. So the first step I want to do is that I want to create a very simple layout that's got a picture on the left side and some information on the right side. So I'm going to go to layout mode with view, layout mode. First thing I want to do is I want to take out the field picker. So I am going to go to hold on, it's not this place. So I am going to go to the top right here. There's a field picker. So this is where I can drag the field that I just created and place it onto the database. So first I am going to create a photo field right on the left side of this body part here. So I'm going to drag and drop this photo and delete this little text right here because we don't really need it, and just place it on the side of this field here. The next thing, I want the product name to be on top, so I'm going to drag this product name, and then I'm going to drop, and then I'm going to drag the price, cm and inch here. And since they are a number, by default FileMaker will make it a shorter field size, but I'm just going to drag this for a longer size so it feels more consistent. Okay, just drag this up, and then lastly I will have a description on the bottom of the remaining space. And for the description, I wanted more space to write more text into it. So I am going to click onto this and then drag it open a little bit. So I got more space to write everything I need. So I'm just going to quickly press View, Browse Mode to go to Browse Mode. And we now have a very simple preliminary database to be placed here. So maybe what I can do is that I will import some existing photo here so that we have something to work on. So I am just going to click on wait. So I'm going to just quickly shrink this a little bit, and then I'm going to drag this here, and then I'm going to drag this here. So now we have three products that we can start using, and the database is start to look good because we now have some data placed into it. So the next step, I want to start typing in some sample data. So let's call this a very nice orange sofa, and then call this the greatly designed interior set, and then call the last one a white sofa thing. I don't know what this is called, but and then we're gonna start typing the price and also a sample CM. So let's do a 50 CM. So right now I'm not specifying what CM this is, but I'm just doing it for reference. So it can be height, it can be width, but you get the picture. But I'm just doing this for demonstration purpose. So right away, there are a few changes that I want to make to this database, because in this part here, I have some description shown on the left side of the fields. And you can see that if I have to keep this tidy, I have to take up a lot of space in this area. But if I use, if I try to shrink them to smaller, shrink this, like make a more well use of the size, then you will notice that the layout start to look very messy. So I want to keep the alignment of my text field like this, but I want to remove this part here. So, but once we remove these tags, then people don't know what they are. So how do we tackle that? So there's this really cool feature called placeholder tags that started in FileMaker 14 or 15. So you can click onto one of the fields and you can select a text in the inspector. So to get out the inspector, you just click on View and Inspector here, and then you can get this dialog out. Go to the fourth tab here, click on one of the field, and then in this part here you can start typing in a placeholder text. So I'm going to type product name, and then I'm going to type price here. I'm just going to quickly go to browse mode and show you what's going to happen. So if I go to browse mode right now, you will notice that if I delete one of the record, then you will see that there's a placeholder field that's shown within the layout. So it's a very good way for you to save some like real estate space in the software without confusing the user too much. So I'm just going to do this for the other fields. For the CM, I'm going to click on, I'm just going to close the field picker, and in the inspector I'm just going to do CM inch and then description, and I am going to maybe drag this a little bit more, and then because I don't really need that much space for CM and inch, so I'm just going to place this smaller in size. I'm going to also create a CM here, so once people type in something, they can still see what is happening. And then I'm going to create another one and call this inch. Let's use small cap for the CM as well. And now we have a very simple database that should look a little bit better than before. So when we create a new product, then we have all these fields that we can enter. So warm interior set, and we have a price, maybe a $10,000, and also 10 cm, which translate to I think 254 inches. No. Let's do 254 cm, and it translate to I think 10 inches. I hope that's right. Let's verify that later. And then we do some description here, so like blah 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 blah. And yeah, you can see that the data entry, it's feeling a bit more smooth than before. And there is one additional change I'm going to make to this, is that right now the dollar is shown in just a numeric form and it doesn't look too good. So what I want to do is to make it so that I have a dollar sign right next to it, and also have some 1,000 separators, so like the comma between each 3 0. So I'm gonna go to layout mode again, and then I am going to go to the inspector, and I click onto the price field and go to the bottom of this inspector panel, and there's a option called data formatting. So you can go here and click on data formatting, format, and then choose currency. So what this does is that once you set this to currency, then you can have the option to show what type of currency this is. Right now my country is in Hong Kong, so it's automatically set to HK, but I guess you can just set to dollar sign and it should be fine. And I am going to also take this statistics, so this is called the separator, and I'm gonna use 1,000 separator. And you can use some people use dot, some people use comma, and in my case I'm just gonna use comma for the 1,000 separator. So I'm going to go to view, browse mode, quickly view my data again, and now you can see it's looking much nicer. But note that the setting we did just now is just for display. Underneath the database, when we click onto this, it's still a numeric number. So it's very handy, especially so it doesn't mess up the database calculation, but it still allows you to show the data the way you want. So it's very cool. So the next step we want to do is that right now some of my image have a longer in width, some is shorter in longer in height, some is shorter in height, and it doesn't really fill up this square space that I gave it perfectly. And it's a very minor change, but sometimes if you're like a perfectionist, you might want to make sure that the format field looks and feels the same. So I'm just going to go to layout mode again. You can do Command L, Control L, or just go to view, layout mode, and we are going to click onto photo. And inside the photo, there's also this data formatting option. There are a few ways we can do it. We can change the alignment. So if I change this to align to the left and align to the top, then you will notice that the picture will be I try to lean to the top and the left. And if you make another change, make it back to middle, and this time I want to make another change that here in the format setting here we have you can select, and let's try to select enlarge image to fit. So if I go to browse mode right now, you will notice that my current view, it's fitting much more perfectly into this square space here. So it's looking a little bit more consistent and more nice. But then you will notice that some part of the picture has been cut off. So you might want to keep that into account when you're doing this. Okay, so that is part 1 of the tutorial where we create a very simple looking database look and feel of this system. And the second part we want to do is to do something with scripts. So in today's tutorial, I want to create something that automatically convert the cm and the inch together. So what I mean is that, let's say when I type 2.54 cm, it should automatically calculate this value and turn this into an inch, which is 1 inch. And on the other hand, if I'm typing onto the inch, like 2 inch, this should automatically change to 5.08 cm. So there should be some sort of script to control this so that it will automatically changes the value whenever you type a value in either one of them. So how are we going to do that? So there's two parts to this. The first part is that we need to create a script that convert cm to inch and converts inch to cm. And the second part is that we want to use a script trigger so that we can trigger the script that we create whenever someone changes one of these value in the field. So I'm going to start with the first part. Now before I start, I just want to make sure that I got the inch thing right. So I'm just going to quickly go to Google Chrome and go to inch to cm. Oh, it's already there, 2.54. Wow, we're very nice. So I am right. And the next step, I want to go back to this FileMaker layout and go to script workspace. I'm going to create two scripts here. So the first one, okay, let me just make this window better in size. So the first script I want to create, I want to call it cm to inch. The second one, I want to call it inch to cm. So for the first one, I want this to be so that when I type in the value in the cm field, it automatically changes the inch field. The script step to do that is the set field. So what the set field script step do is that it will change the value of a specified field. So I'm first going to specify which field I'm going to change for this script, which is the inch field. And I'm going to choose inch. And right now I need to determine what's the value I want to change this. So I want to click on this gear thing again, go to calculate result, and I want to set it so that it's a 2.54 cm. So I'm going to choose a double click onto cm and then make it times 2.54. So to multiply in a normal programming language, you will use the star here. So I'm going to click OK and use Command S to save, or you can just go to script and then there should be like a save script button here. So that's the first part. And for the second part, in the inch to cm, I want to do it the reverse. So whenever I type in something in inch, I want it to automatically change the cm field. So this time I'm going to use the set field, and I'm going to click onto this and change this to, I'm going to set the cm field, and then I am going to choose inch times 2.54. Click OK. So now that we got the basic script set, I am going to set the script trigger. So to set a script trigger, I'm going to go to View, Layout Mode. So I'm going to right click onto the CM field, and you should be seeing a thing called Set Script Triggers. So this is where we set all the different triggers. There are a lot of different triggers that you can use, but for most people, I think we are going to use on object save. So what this trigger does is that it triggers when you write something in the field and then you save it. So what do I mean by save? So okay, let's go up and quickly show you. So saving, it's basically typing something 1, 2, 3 here and then click away from this field. Then you will be saving the value, and then the script trigger will happen. So I'm just going to quickly go back to layout mode, right click onto this, go to script trigger again. I'm going to take on object save, and I am going to do for this one, when I change the cm, I want the inch to change as well. So I'm going to use cm to inch. Click OK, and then I'm going to right click onto the inch one and do it the other way around. Set script trigger on object save, inch to cm. Click OK again. I am going to go to browse mode then. Now let's quickly test out the script. So if I am correct, then if I type in 10 cm now, click away, this will automatically change to 25.4 inch, and that is not right. Okay, I got it the other way around, but let's see. So I do 20 inch, then it turns to 50.8 cm. Is that right? I am not sure, but let me just quickly check the script. Oh, okay, so for the cm to inch one, it should be cm divided by 2.54. The other one is correct, so it's inch times 2.54 equals to cm. So I'm just going to quickly save this and try it again. Sorry for the terrible math. So if I go do a 10 inch for now, it's a 25.4 cm. So it's working really well. So that's the basic of how you do script triggers. Now it's almost the end of this tutorial, but before you go, I've got a question for you. So in the coming month, I'm going to be focusing more on making these example-like files. It's more focused on building a particular example more than focusing on specific features. So I really want to know what type of database are you interested to see. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new to this channel it's all about creating beginner-friendly FileMaker tutorials so that you can start automating your work with this powerful software. We're posting regularly on every Friday, so subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.